this video, we'll be working on dividing with two-digit divisors. Let's review really quickly that a divisor is the number that is outside of the division house. So let's say we have 252 divided by 34. 34 would be our divisor. Now, before we get started with one-digit division, or with two-digit division, we're going to review our one-digit division saying. DMSB. Does McDonald's sell burgers? We're going to divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Make sure you have DMSB written down on your paper somewhere. Let's go ahead and review really quickly. Let's say we have 534 divided by 3. Remember, our first step is to say 5 divided by 3. How many times can 3 go into 5? One time. That's our divide. Now we're going to multiply. So put a little X right here. 1 times 3 is 3. Now we're going to subtract. 5 minus 3 is 2. Next step is to bring down. Bring down that 3. Now we come right back up and divide again. 23 divided by 3. How many times can 23 go into 23? If I count by 3s, I know that that's going to be 7. So a lot of you have been putting your 7 down here. That is not correct. 7 is part of our answer. 3 can go into 23 7 times. So 7 becomes part of our answer. Now we're ready to multiply. 7 times 3 is 21. Time to subtract. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. Bring down the 4. Now we're going to divide again. 24 divided by 3. How many times can 3 go into 24? Our answer is 8. Remember, 8 goes up top in the quotient because it's part of the answer. The 8 does not go under the 24. What goes under the 24 is our next step when we multiply. 8 times 3 is 24. Time to subtract. Our answer is 0. And there's nothing else to bring down. So the answer or the quotient to this division problem is 178. It's really important that you remember all the steps. So when we move into double-digit division with double-digit divisors, it's a little bit easier. So remember those steps. DMSB. I'm going to write them for every single problem. DMSB. We're going to follow that every time. All right. So we've got 189 divided by 14. Let's get started. 14 cannot go into 1. If you say 1 divided by 14, you can't do it. But I can say 18 divided by 14. 14 can go into 18 one time. Look, I'm placing my answer above the 8 because it can't go into the 1. It can go into the 18. Now we multiply. We just divided, we multiply. 1 times 14 is 14. Time to subtract. 18 minus 14 is 4. Time to bring down. 49 divided by 14. How many times can 14 go into 49? So for this, it's important to try to think about your friendly numbers so you can make an educated guess on what number you think it's going to be. I'm going to make an educated guess that it's going to be 3 because I know that if I count by 15s, 3 15s get me kind of close to 45. So let's try. 14 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. That got me really close. So I know that 14 can go into 49 3 times. 3 times 14, we're on our multiply step, is 42. Let's subtract. 49, we're on that subtract step. 49 minus 42 is 7. The next step is to bring down, but there's nothing else to bring down. So I'm going to take my 7 and bring it up as my remainder. My answer is 13, remainder 7. Make sure you have that copied correctly, and let's move on to the next problem. Our next one is 1,568 divided by 32. Remember, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Write that to the side just so you have it. All right, so 32 cannot go into 1. I can't say 1 divided by 32. I can't say 15 divided by 32. I have to move over and say 156 divided by 32. That makes for a really big number. But remember, think about those friendly numbers from yesterday. We're not doing partial quotients, but 32 is kind of close to 30, which is kind of close to 3. So I could count by 30s and see if I can get close to 156. So I know I've got 30, 60, 90. Look, I'm just counting by 3s. 3, 6, 9, 120, 150. Look at that. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. 150. That tells me that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 32 can probably go in 5 times. So let's go ahead and make that guess. 32 times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. Oh no! It's 4 too big. So I guess we're going to have to try 32 times 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. That'll fit. This way, I didn't have to do 32 times 2 or 32 times 3. It kind of saved me a couple steps just by estimating. So I know that 32 can go into 156 4 times. Look at where I'm writing that 4. It's over the 6. 32 can't go into 15. 32 can't go into 1. 32 can go into 156 4 times. It's really important to keep it stacked up neatly and correctly. 4 times 32 is 128. Now we are on our subtraction step. I'm going to have to borrow from my 5, make that a 4 and a 16. 16 minus 8 is 8. 4 minus 2 is 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. Now it's time to bring down that 8. I've got 288 now. Oh, goodness. So now I'm going to estimate some more. So I stopped at 15. I know that 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 8 is 24. And 3 times 9 is 27. So I'm going to guess that it's 32 times 9. That might be too high. It might be 8, but we're going to try it. 2 times 9 is 18. 3 times 9 is 27, plus 1 is 28. Look, it fit perfectly. What a good guess. So I know that 32 can go into 28 9 times because 9 times 32 is 288. And if we subtract, we get 0. Our answer is 49. Let's do another one. 28 is our divisor. 7,356 is our dividend. Does McDonald's sell burgers? Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Let's divide. 7 divided by 28. 28 can't go into 7. Not going to put anything there. 73 divided by 28. How many times can 28 go into 73? I'm going to guess just 2 times. Let's do 28 times 2 and see what happens. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, 56. I don't know if it can go in again. We are going to have to try. 28 times 3. 3 times 8 is 24. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7, 74. 1 too big. So it's going to go in 2 times. I'm going to ask you the question here in just a second. Take a look at this problem. I need to put my 2 somewhere. Is it going to go over the 7, the 3, the 5, or the 6? We know that 28 can go into 73 2 times, but where am I going to put that 2? You should have chosen over the 3 because 28 can go into 73, so we're putting the 2 over the 3. Now it's time to multiply. 2 times 28 is 56. We just worked that out. Time to subtract. 73 minus 56, I'm going to have to borrow. 13 minus 6, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. 6 minus 5 is 1. Now it's time to bring down that 5. I always draw my arrow. Now we have to figure out how many times 28 can go into 175. You know what we could do? We could go back and use the work from our previous problem because 28 is also kind of close to 30. So I'm looking for 175. So I think it's probably going to go in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, because more than that would be 180. Let's try 5 times. You can always use the work from previous problems. So 28 times 5. 5 times 8 is 40. 2 times 5 is 10. Plus 4 is 14. I bet it can go in 6 times. Let's try it. 6 times 8 is 48. 2 times 6 is 12. 13, 14, 15, 16. Yep. So I know that 28 can go into 175 6 times. Remember, I'm putting the 6 up here in the quotient spot because the 6 is the answer to our division problem. Now it's time to multiply. 6 times 28 is 168. Subtract. Got to borrow right here. That's 0, 0. 15 minus 8, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. We've subtracted. Now let's bring it down. 76. I want you to take a look at the work I already have, because I have some work shown up there in the top right, and see if you can figure out how many times 28 is going to go into 76. What do you think 76 divided by 28 is going to be? For this one, I hope you said 3, because if we look up here in the top corner, I have 28 times 3 is 74. So if we bring that 3 over, I know 3 times 28 is 74, and that worked almost perfectly for us. Now it's time to subtract. 6 minus 4 is 2. There's nothing else to bring down, so we're going to take this remainder and bring it up. Our answer is 263, remainder 2. All right, last problem. Let's bring it down just a little bit so we don't see the one before it. Does McDonald's sell burgers? Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. All right, for this one, I want you to try it on your own. Let me see what you get. Go ahead and try it. All right, let's check your work and see if you got it correct. 62 divided by 23. How many times can 23 go into 62? I'm going to guess twice, because I think 3 is probably going to be too much. So let's guess twice. 23 times 2. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4. I can't tell. We're going to have to try 23 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 3 is 6. Yep, that's too big. It's twice. So I'm going to put my 2 over the 2. I hope that's what you did as well. 2 times 23 is 46. Now let's subtract. Can't do that, so we're going to have to borrow. 12 minus 6 is 6. 5 minus 4 is 1. Time to bring down the 1. How many times can 23 go into 161? To figure this out, I think I'm going to estimate or make my best educated guess. I'm going to count by 20s. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160. That's 8. So I'm going to guess 8. 23 times 8. 3 times 8 is 24. 2 times 8 is 16, 17, 18. Oh no, that's too big. So frustrating. Let's try 23 times 7. 7 times 3 is 21. 2 times 7 is 14, 15, 16. Hey, that fit perfectly. Perfect. So I know that 23 can go into 161 7 times. And 7 times 23 is 161. Look at that. We are done. My answer is 27. I hope that's what you got as well. Remember, if you didn't, double check your work, go back and review, and then please ask to make sure you are on the right page before getting started with your classwork.